St. Joseph's College will be desperate to get their hands on the knockout trophy as they have not done since 2017. Wesley, on the other hand, have not lifted this trophy since 2013. Welcome to the capital as we bring you live action. It's Wesley College playing St. Joseph's College in the Dialog Schools Rugby knockout competition. The weather here at the Royal Complex, well, it has been quite hot and humid throughout the day, but thankfully it is letting down as the day progresses. A maximum of 31 and a minimum of 26. There's no way we'll be reaching that. But cloudy conditions we all will be hoping that the rain stays away from this crucial game. It's a knockout competition time. It's St. Joseph's College playing Wesley in what promises to be a sumptuous affair. I have got with me in the commentary box the man who refereed the first. Well, in fact, he's the first Asian to referee the Asiad back in 1990. And that game was played in Sri Lanka. It's none other than SW Chang. SW, well, welcome to the commentary box. And it's a pleasure to be alongside you here. Well, we have quite a bit of rugby lined up today and in the days to come.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me to be sitting here along with you and trying to learn the finer points of giving commentaries. But nevertheless, you're right, the weather is good and cool, and we got St. Joseph playing Wesley, and it's a knockout tournament. It's a Dialog Schools knockout, and this year, 2025, the school's authorities have taken a decision to go ahead and have the knockouts first, and I think it's a bold and a good decision.
Indeed, a bold and a good decision as Dharmaraja plays DS Senanayaka not too far away from here. The school's authorities have seen quite a few teams miss out on this tournament because they played following the league, and this time around, well, there is no chance for that for any school team as they all will be lining up today and tomorrow in the pre-quarterfinals, and as the tournament progresses, we are no doubt in for some sumptuous rugby.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you realize, if that's a double blue boys there, and if you realize they play their off-season friendlies, so why not have a tournament and let them have a go at each other as they're playing friendlies? I'm sure they would like to have a go here at the teams. They might meet in the league, they might not be meeting in the league, and nevertheless, I take my hat off. It's a super decision to start with the knockout.
Indeed. The two teams just going through their final warm-ups before this crucial game. Well, every team know that there is no room for any errors. The trophy they are playing for, and any errors could cost them that, as the lineups are preparing themselves. The two teams, Wesley on the left-hand side of your screen and St. Joseph's College, well, in fact, out of the frame. Everyone will be quite eager to see how these teams line up and what sort of rugby they bring out. The expectation is sky high, and, well, the old boys, sponsors, and everyone watching, they will no doubt be supporting one team, and they will be backing them to the hills.
Yeah, Romario, I don't think we have any clue about the strength and the weaknesses of the two teams. The only thing that we can see is that the blue-colored jerseys have been separated by the white stripe that Josephians carry. Other than that, we don't know what we are in for.
And as I said a moment ago, Wesley have not won this tournament since 2013, and St. Joseph's College, well, their maiden trophy, the maiden piece of silverware came in 2017, but ever since the two schools have gone empty-handed as this competition has been dominated by none other than Isipatana College, 4 times winning it in the past 10 years, and St. Peter's College winning it 3 times in the last 10 years.
Yeah, because you can see if you see the silverware, there have been a dominance, but don't take Wesley and St. Joseph their performance off, because over the years they have performed to the hill. They may not have a silverware in the cupboard to go through the records, but they have definitely produced top players and also top teams.
Well, with the anticipation building up here to this first clash in the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockout competition, before we go any further, we will go in for a quick commercial break and be back with stats, lineups and kickoff on the other side.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get, spray, go.
As the pioneer in Sri Lanka's bottled water industry, American Water has set the standard for over 3 decades to help you stay hydrated wherever you may roam, to provide healthy hydration for your whole home, and to nourish your growing family. With island-wide distribution, we've reached the homes and hearts of every Sri Lankan, ensuring healthy hydration for all. For over 30 years, we've brought the Earth's bounty directly to you, wherever you are, whatever your needs.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence. Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. Hamasitakma pipide, rasa lemon rasa ye. Jeevithayama mihirai, Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, chilven lemon.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නෑ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නෑ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චමරි අක්කා.
පිටියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නෑ.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
එක පැත්තකින් වහගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. චමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
radials. The road is yours.
Our forests come in many forms. They can be up in the hills or down in the plains, fed by the rain or sculpted by the sun. Our forests are deeply rooted in us. They are a living inspiration.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Seat car radials. The road is yours. Seat car radials. The road is yours.
But the two teams, well, Wesley College have made their way back into the commentary box, into the team dressing room, beg your pardon, as St. Joseph's College go through their final warm-ups. Coach Dulanjana Vijayasinghe making his debut as a coach in the top flight, as a head coach, SW. Well, you would have had the privilege to coach Dulanjana back in your days and his playing days.
Yeah, of course. Dulanjana was a cricketer, a known cricketer, so I spoke to him, and it's so funny that he played for Wesley, and today he's coaching St. Joseph's. And Dulanjana played for Sri Lanka in rugby than cricket, but he was a very much better cricketer. But nevertheless, he put his hand up and came and played for Wesley, and did very well indeed to win the national jersey.
A multi-talented sports person, Dulanjana Vijayasinghe has been elevated from assistant to take over the head coach role this time around, as Nilufer Ibrahim stepped aside from his duties at the Maradana team. Before we go any further, we have a video that will launch this Dialog Schools Rugby Knockout competition. Let's have a watch. That was the launch of this school's rugby season for 2025. Dialog, the main sponsor, having the privilege of hosting the school's rugby association along with the captains from the season 2025. We are moments away from kickoff as we have a look at a few more stats. Well, this is the timeline, and this is how the two seasons will be played throughout April and May. It will be the knockout competition, and from the 6th of June to the 10th of August, it will be the Dialog Schools Rugby League competition. Plenty of action lined up throughout the coming months, 3 to 4 months of non-stop rugby action. Schoolboys will have the opportunity of stepping up to the plate, to the highest level of competition for a schoolboy player that they could reach SW.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking about this. It crossed my mind. You can't keep Dialog off from sponsoring sports. There's some or other they are sponsoring, coming behind schools, clubs, let it be anything. They just come forward to sponsor, and I think we should be ever grateful to Dialog for coming forward. You can't stop them. You can't keep them off, I should say. And of course, if you look at it, it also helps. And I'm not surprised why they are leading in technology in the communication industry. But it's a good thing to see them coming forward and sponsoring. And hopefully that they will go from strength to strength, speaking other sports too.
Indeed, the Dialog has stepped forward throughout the years for plenty of sports in the country, and they have put their hand up, come forward to be behind every school, every club, and even the national teams. These are the groups for the league competition. Group A comprises of St. Peter's DS, Wesley, Science, St. Anthony's and Ananda College. Group B, Isipatana, St. Thomas's, Zahira, Dharmaraja, Kingswood and Mahanama. And in Group C, it's Royal Trinity Vidyartha, St. Joseph's, Sri Sumangala and Thurston College. Well, SW, what is your pick? What is your pick on the difficult group in this? We will come back to that after this quick commercial break. The teams making their way out of the tunnel, and well, this is what we all have been waiting for. If you are a supporter from Wesley College, or if you are a supporter from St. Joseph's College, or if you are a supporter from any other school and you're neutral and you're watching this game, welcome to the Papare. We are bringing you live action from the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockout Competition, and well, what an evening it is promised to be. Fans flocking in slowly but surely as they head out of their workplaces and come to watch the boys in action from their respective school. It's no doubt a momentous affair, and in between the two referees we can see the trophy that they are playing for as the dignitaries make their way down to welcome the teams. Fans filling in slowly but surely, taking their seats. The teams line up well. For Wesley, it's in the front row, it's Ashan, Rahul and Hapugala. Shafraz in the second row with Tirangama partner in him. Thabit, Harishchandra and skipper Sandul Gammampila will round off the number 8 for Wesley College. And at 9 and 10 it's Wadud and Lai filling up the all-important halfback combination. Dasanayaka and Fawaz are in the centers with Rodrigo, Kavisha and Abdul Hadi rounding off the run-on 15 for Wesley College. Well, for St. Joseph's College, it's Tisat, Mindulka and Isuru in the front rows, skipper Janit Marasinghe and Lianage in the second rows, Kumar, Inosh Silva and Hamish Gamage round off the pack for St. Joseph's College. Akash Gomes and Brian Fernando are in at 9 and 10 for St. Joseph's College. Bhishma Jayasekara, Malshan Devmin at 12 and 13 with Jayasurya, Thevan Kitnuka and Nathan Gunaratna lining up in the back trio for St. Joseph's College as the two teams are introduced to this to the dignitaries rather, as we prepare to kick things off here at Royal Complex. Still both teams SW quite an unknown commodity. We haven't seen them, and now is the time we will be having our first look in competitive rugby for the two schools. Preparing for the official photograph before we kick things off. And the fans are in anticipation. This is the Wesley half of the stadium, as we see the players and the officials and officials from Dialog, well, officials from the schools rugby association and Dialog lining up alongside the trophy, and the match officials. And before we go any further, it's the two school anthems. Wesley College first, followed by St. Joseph's College. St. Joseph's College school song.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brooks of virtue and of knowledge, yearly gather peace and power, symbolizing yonder banner, floating o'er St. Joseph's tower, white and blue its mystic colors, harmonizing strong and clear, stolen from the distant mountains, from the wilderness breaking near, from the wilderness breaking near, harmonizing strong and clear, white and blue are mystic colors, till the mountains disappear.
All formalities have now been completed, and we are just minutes away from kickoff here at the Royal Complex.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Everyone waiting. A moment of silence. That was paying the players and everyone paying their respect to the passing away of the Pope, as we are now in all readiness for some action, and well, this is what we have all been waiting for. Schools rugby is back. It's well and truly back. St. Joseph's College just warming their shoulders, while Wesley College have made their way to the centre and are preparing with one final huddle. Skipper Gammampila at the heart of it, laying the law down, telling his youngsters, his players, what he expects from them. So by the looks of it, it'll be St. Joseph's College lining up on the left-hand side of the field on your screen, and Wesley College on the right-hand side of your field, of your screen rather. Both teams will no doubt be keen, SW, to get their hands on the ball, to kick things off and get this season up and running.
Yeah, actually, and the boys are in the center huddle, having a little bit of chat with the prayer. Starting off. Wesley, of course, started off with the crowd backed him up with their famous Zam Zam Zake.
The Wesley crowd bringing about the noise, while for St. Joseph's College, well, they themselves will be eager to get their hands on and to kick things off as soon as possible. Well, the man in charge entrusted with the duties of call in this game, Ravin Alexander, and with him on the touchlines will be Nalin Lasantha and Veranga, Praneeth Veranga that would be. So by the looks of it, it will be St. Joseph's preparing to kick this game off. SW, well, as we said before a moment ago, an unknown commodity, both teams. And here we go. The Dialog Schools Rugby Knockout competition kicked off the boot of Brian. And a massive first hit coming on there by the Wesley College player as Lai spots a bit of space, does not find touch, straight into the arms of Nathan. But has he overcooked it? By the looks of it, he has. So the first mistake by St. Joseph's College SW, they will not be too pleased because they had the numbers on the outside and could have run as well, but I think Nathan was looking for that 50-22.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just they're just under 19 kids on the field, so they must be feeling nervous, nervy, testing each other. Once they get into that position of making contact and then the game gets older, about 5-10 minutes, I'm sure everything will fall back into place.
First line out won by Hashim for Wesley College. Ball dropped short, but a good tackle coming in by Isuru Chaturanga. However, Wesley College recycling possession and a good run. That's Hamdan Shafraz. The second time he's making good meters. However, the referee has other ideas, and by the looks of it, a Wesley College player who were in possession have been penalized for a tackle off the ball.
The referee had his arms around. Unfortunately, they are not wired again. Once again, they are on the job of not being wired. So we couldn't actually hear the communication, but he just had he had the elbow up in straight motion. If you see the replay of the referee signal, and then later on he showed there were no arms. So because Wesley had ball.
Indeed, Wesley College did have a possession. Unfortunately for Nathan and St. Joseph's College, the second kick too skewed off his boot. But now Mindulka Pereira throwing in to a shortened line out. Scrappy but secured by Janit Marasinghe. Wesley College player all over that ball. The advantage is coming for St. Joseph's College. Taken in by Hamish Gamage. Now to the line they go. Here's first look and first use for St. Joseph's College and their back line. Bhishma that was who took the ball into contact. But a good counter-ruck coming in. However, the referee goes back for that advantage he was playing. Says that the Wesley College player was fallen on the wrong side and did not make any attempt to roll away.
3 minutes into the game, I think we can see a forwards versus three-quarter battle. I think the Josephian threes seems to be wanting to run the ball, and Wesley forwards have the upper hand on the other side of the coin.
This time around, a good kick coming in there. I think it was Malshan Devmin who put boot to ball. And he puts St. Joseph's College about 25 meters out from the Wesley College dry line. The first full man line out of this game by either team. Thrown in will be Mindulka Pereira. Collected well there by the St. Joseph's College jumper. And Mindulka with the ball at the tail. Maul set up. Well read there by the Wesley College scrum halfback. Bhishma clears it out. Here goes St. Joseph's College through Malshan Devmin. wriggles his way forward, held up, not in a good position, but he has somehow managed to get his feet on the floor, his knee on the floor rather. Now to the blind side they go. Bhishma goes straight and hard. An advantage coming in for St. Joseph's College. The Wesley College line has breached the offside. Gomes gives it out short as the Josephians take it up into contact. That was Isuru Chaturanga. However, nothing really coming off that advantage as referee Ravin Alexander goes back SW for that penalty.
Yeah, he actually penalized the Wesley threes not staying, or the defenders not staying behind the hindmost foot, and there was no advantage. And quite rightly, the Wesley, the Jackler, what do you call it now, is it? Had the ball in a correct situation, but nevertheless he was playing advantage.
Yes, the Jackler trying to win the turnover at the breakdown, but because St. Joseph's were with an advantage, referee Ravin Alexander was obliged to go back. Now for the second 8-man line out for St. Joseph's College. Throwing in is Mindulkar. Hits his man in the number 7 jumper, that was Inosh. But here goes Bhishma, step in. Couple of meters out from the try line, but a good tackle coming in on Bhishma by Dhanush. However, St. Joseph's College still with front football and a penalty advantage to their name. The Wesley defenders coming in low and hard. However, the Josephians still holding on to possession, not making too much of headway. Here goes Janit Marasinghe, chopped low by Naham. St. Joseph's College still with possession. Wesley defenders falling on the wrong side. But Akash Gomes secures things. However, was there a hand there, SW, through the ruck?
Well, somehow they lost possession, but the referee is having a chat with the Wesley forwards that they are falling on the wrong side and are not maintaining that the offside foot at the tackle situation or at the ruck situation.
First penalty for the Josephians in kickable range, and straight away skipper Janit Marasinghe points at the posts. So first opportunity for points, and St. Joseph's straight away taking up the chance, hoping to break the deadlock, SW.
Yeah, it's a good call because you have been attacking and might as well put some 3 points on the board and then restart your attack from the ball that you're going to receive off the kickoff. Let's see whether the flags stay up or down. Yes, the flags stay up. And so that's first 3 points to St. Joseph's. St. Joseph have been threatening, and their 3 quarters have been making the moves. And of course at the crucial moment, the forwards putting their hand up. So it's 3 to St. Joseph, Wesley yet to score.
Malshan Devmin makes no mistake off the tee. First points go in the way of St. Joseph's College as the Josephians break the deadlock. Malshan Devmin in the number 13 jumper with a heavily strapped left knee. However, Kaiser Lai puts it high. The restart collected by Nathan. This time around, a good kick coming in, making the Wesley number 8 turn and chase. Wesley College through the hands. That was fullback Abdul Hadi. Did not make good meters from that kick. But the St. Joseph's College player just unable to catch that high up and under. Sitanga Lianage was that, in the number 5 jumper for St. Joseph's College. Rahul preparing to throw into a line out. A shortened line out for Wesley College. One at the front. To the line they go. Lai. Double bumps. Gives it to his play in the number 13 jumper. That's a Mohammed. But yet again, St. Joseph's butterfingers letting them down. Tarusha Jayasuri, that was. Good recovery there. Unfortunately though, just not good enough because he left the first ball, he knocked it on forward. And now it will be a scrum. Did everything right, just not the final product there for St. Joseph's College. Came back and recovered and made a good tackle as well, but just not enough as the advantage was still being played SW. 10 minutes there or thereabout, and what do you see?
Yeah, I think the Joes at the moment, I think they got the upper hand. That game is lifted up with the three quarters making a move. Even that in the place where they knocked on and they couldn't make any headway because their forwards are not up there to support them.
Well, here goes Wesley through their number 7. Naham Hemachandra. Now Lai, to the line they go. Numbers on the outside, but the ball has been left behind, collected by Devan Kitnuka. St. Joseph's College recycle. Box kick put in there, but well fielded. Is that Kai's Lai? Yes, it was. Surveying his options. And yet another ball left behind by St. Joseph's. That time around it was Brian Fernando. However, the referee is going back for a penalty and says that the Wesley College chaser, by the looks of it, SW, was offside. Was in front of the kicker.
Yeah, that's right. That was his call. The referee's call was that. But nevertheless, okay, fine. Let's get on that. He was too eager to get in. But Wesley has, St. Joseph have missed 2 high balls. Actually, I should say 3 of the high balls that they completely missed. Didn't collect it clean. And that's a worry because Wesley should be putting the ball on high ball up right through to see how far that they can go with that.
Indeed. A bit of slippery conditions here at the Royal Complex. Underfoot conditions though have been quite good at this stadium. But St. Joseph's College leaving a couple of high balls behind. Naveen Marasinghe, beg your pardon, Janit Marasinghe rather. Not too sure from where the number 7 came in there into that maul. But the ball has been brought down as St. Joseph's recycle possession. Still the Wesley defenders falling on the wrong side, not making enough of effort to roll away, and there you can see again on that occasion as well, just rolling in to the same side. But here goes Devan Kitnuka for St. Joseph's College, gets the offload away. St. Joseph's just a few meters out from the try line. Have they scored the try? Yes indeed, they have scored. The first Amana Bank try comes in for St. Joseph's. Unsure who was the player who dotted down on that far side. However, Amana Bank try number 1 comes the way of St. Joseph's as we see the replay SW.
Yeah, Josephine, they were threatening their hands so good. As I told you, in 3 minutes into the game, it's 3 quarters versus the forwards. Absolutely fantastic hands. They're going on the short side there and squeezing it over. And of course the Wesley players are appealing to the referee. They should have stopped them a long time ago.
Indeed, I think that was Bhishma or Malshan Devmin who dotted down in the far side. But 13 minutes on, St. Joseph's College 8 points to the good. Conversion does not go over. Scores remain 8-0 in favor of St. Joseph's College. And I think they will be quite pleased to have returned back to their half with points after going in to the Wesley 22 SW.
Yeah, of course, because 8 points is actually 2 scores away, and we are into the 14th minute of the game, and they are definitely dominated in places of recycling possession, and the threes making inroads, and
the only thing they have been lacking is collecting the high ball, and on that occasion as well it was left behind. Good pick up there by the Wesley College hooker Rahul, making good headway. As you score, that's what they always say, the coaches say, you're extremely vulnerable. And here you can see again St. Joseph's College now straight away on the back foot. A good quick ball and quick attack coming in by Wesley. Now through the hands they go, step in. That was Mohammad Fawaz, unable to break the line. Kaisalai through the hands, numbers on the outside. Here goes Wesley College through their number 11. That's Rodrigo. He scores the first Amana Bank try for Wesley College, and they reply dearly in kind, SW.
absolutely, you drop your card once you have got 8 points on the board, and you're going to pay. I always keep telling you, if two sides are waiting with their guns to shoot at each other or something like that, and then what happens is when the first shot is fired, you're bound to get at least 10 to 15 shots coming at you. And look at the replay. They had numbers outside. They made sure that everybody was sucked into that tackle situation and got that ball out wide onto the left corner. Beautiful hands. It was just a matter of just going over the line and then touching it down to make it 8 points to 5 with a conversion to come. And it's going to be a big battle here at the Royal Complex. The Dialog, the conversion not right, but they remain 8 points to 5. St. Joseph still 3 points ahead at the Dialog Schools Knockout 2025.
Abdul Hadi, that was, he had quite a good season last year in 2024 with the boot.
My only question was there in the kickoff when they restarted the game after the try, St. Joseph try, was the chaser in front of the kicker.
Time has been switched off as referee Ravin Alexander is just asking Tevan Kitnuka to be checked by Dr. Kirialla. Bit of claret coming off his face. Cannot be left to be plain with blood on his face. He's adamant that he stays on the field of play. Brian Fernando to restart proceedings for St. Joseph's. After conceding points, Brian puts in a deep restart, collected by Kais Lai. He returns the kick, collected by Brian, spots some space at the back, puts in a lovely kick there, pinpoint accurate kick there by Brian Fernando. And St. Joseph's College, well, they find themselves straight away back inside their opponent's 22-meter SW.
Yeah, that's right. Once again, it proves that once you score, that you drop your guard. You got to concentrate more on this thing, because that was an aimless kick into no man's land, into the center field, that you're giving the option to the opponent to go left and right, and defense, fitting the mind of the defense, wondering which way they will go. And look at that. Now they're under pressure.
Not the best of options there by Kais Lai, as the Josephians have secured the line out. Now under the edge. Wesley defenders falling on the wrong side, not rolling away. Penalty advantage coming the way of St. Joseph's. Hamish Gamage beats one, beats two, swivels just a couple of meters out was Hamish Gamage, but St. Joseph's have secured their second Amanabank try, and this time it's Bhishma Jaya Sekara, the skipper for St. Joseph's, dotting down, and straight away replying Bhishma in that number 10 jumper. However, lining up at first centre for St. Joseph's. Straight away SW Kaiserlai made the error, and St. Joseph's make them pay not just by 5 points but by 7, as Malshan Devmin makes no mistake from the tee.
Yeah, it's a payment, full made payment. That was 7 points. That's Dinuk Vijayaratna, one of the top products that St. Joseph brought out, playing rugby at the highest level, playing for Sri Lanka. And I think he's also in the Josephian Rugby Committee, no?
Here's the replay of that try, SW, if you could just run us through it.
Yeah, you can see the forwards making inroads. Look at the defender standing and watching. You can't defend like that. And of course the referee is also now playing advantage for not rolling away.
St. Joseph's College securing the ball off the restart. This time around they do much better. Short hands there by the St. Joseph's College forwards. Now Gomes through the hands. Bhishma throws a loopy pass, collected by Tarusha, recycled by the Josephians. Good pressure coming in, but Nathan cleans things up for St. Joseph's. Here's Hamish Gamage taking it up into contact. Nothing really on, and the ball goes to Nathan, but he makes quite a hash out of that kick. Skipper Gammampila secured the ball for Wesley. Here goes their big number 4 with an advantage to the Double Blues. Kaiserlai thinking that he could make some headway. But the referee brings that play to a halt as he goes back for that advantage he was playing, where the St. Joseph's College player just dived into that ruck aimlessly and went off his feet.
Yeah, absolutely. The way he dived, I was thinking whether he saw a pool of water there, and so much so. But having said that, I think the players should start using the advantage and to play to the advantage. They should use of it. If you see the consequences of what happened, or the sequence of things that happened, there was a kick, was charged down. The next player who collected it went for a drop kick. You know what? You're having advantage. You could just play the game, normal game, without trying to do other things.
A free play at hand, and all the youngsters trying to be a hero. Here goes the shortened line out. Won well at the front of it. Now St. Joseph's with yet another penalty, advantage given away at the base. Offside, says the referee. Quick ball coming in. Now in number 9, that's Wadud. Through the hands it goes. Here's Wesley with a number on the outside. And the try at his mercy. The second Amanabank try is scored by Kavish Dilhar for Wesley College. And they hit back dearly. And we can see clearly that both teams are a bit rusty, still feeling their way into the game, with quite a few of these youngsters playing first 15 for the first time as well, SW.
Yeah, absolutely, Romario. You can see that both teams want to play rugby. Look at that long pass, stretched out. And thank you very much. And he goes over the line. Whatever it is that the two teams are wanting to play a rugby, beautiful rugby, it's the scores, whatever they keep troubling the scorers. It's 15 points to 10. We are into the 23rd minute of the game. And the youngsters' first game, with all the nerves and everything, I told you before, that they once they get into that action, that the nervy things will go off. And look, if the conversions come, and if the conversion is good, going to be 15 points to 12.
Dulhadi from outright gives it a good thump, and that's a conversion successful for the fullback. 12 points to 15 with that conversion, with that successful conversion, you could say. And straight away it's game on here at the Royal Complex. Restart collected by Shafran. Wadud, that is. And the Wesleyites, the Double Blues, find in touch. St. Joseph's. Quite a bit of anticipation by the fans as well, and expectations on the shoulders of these youngsters. Mindulkar hits his man at the tail. No, he doesn't. A scrappy line out. Brian recycles possession for St. Joseph's. But another good turnover by Naham Hemachandra. However, the referee goes back for that knock-on advantage. At this line out it was. There you can see the Wesley player leaping up highest, unable to just cling on to the ball. Gomez preparing to feed the scrum. Wesley not having a halfback, opting to go without one. Bhishma, to the line they go. Tevan Gitnuka breaks a couple of tackles, but he's just brought to the floor. Gomez back to the line. Bhishma through the hands. Massive tackle coming in on Nathan, but the referee says that there was there was a bit of a knock-on there, but the signal wasn't on line with the call. However, we are in the dark here from the comm box.
His action, or what he gave, that he said no arms. So I'm not so sure what he meant by no arms, because the ball was stuck by the defender. I can understand if it has been a deliberate knock-on or something like that.
Mindulkar preparing to throw into an 8-man line out. Collected at the front. Secured by St. Joseph's College. And their maul seems to be going. However, splinters and makes headway illegally, says referee Ravin Alexander. If we can just see a replay at that line out and what happened afterwards, give us a more clear picture of what really took place there. Here's the line out throw secured by the Josephian, but then the maul just seemed to have broken away with the ball at the tail of the maul, where else it should have been with the front man. Rahul hits his man at the front, but not secured. Janit Marasinghe breaks one tackle, rolls away from the second. St. Joseph's College through Gomez. Leaves the ball behind again. That was Hamish Gamage. He will not be too pleased with that. But to the line they go. Bhishma gives it out to Malshan Devmin. dumped on his backside. But for some reason, the referee has gone back. Well, I think he says that there was a forward pass in that passage of play, and he's coming back for the advantage of the knock-on.
So the knock-on, and St. Joseph will have the put-in. They'll have the loose head. It's very difficult to read the decision making when you don't have the referee's mic. Yeah, I don't know what the reason they have not wearing it. Best known to them.
Gomez prepares to feed the liner at the scrum, as the Wesley College 9-2 is at the scrum this time around. However, the 7, Hemachandra, a bit too eager, as here goes Malchand Devmin. Through the line he goes. St. Joseph's on the upper hand. Basketball pass there by Nathan. And he comes back to recycle possession. Not the best of passers, but collected by the Josephian. By the Josephian flank that was. Here goes the big forwards. Tisat, the prop forward, was making a bit of headway. However, the referee comes back for that scrum penalty, SW.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he coming back to play, but some superb counter-rucking by the Wesley boys. Wesley, he's bringing play back. He's saying not bound in the scrum, and that saved the day for St. Joseph's. And quite rightly, the skipper has opted to go for the 3 points. Why not? Because it's 15 points to 12, and if the kick is converted successfully, they extend the lead to 18 points to 12.
Indeed, in knockout competitions, in knockout rugby, whatever points is extremely valuable and important. And rightly so, Janit Marasinghe opting for the points.
Yeah, all you do want is the extra time and then free kicks at goal and toss of a coin.
Indeed, if the game is tie, we will go in for quite a few things. But before any of that, Malchand Devmin makes no mistake from the tee. And what an impact he has been having in this first 20-25 minutes of this game, with ball in hand and ball off the tee. Kicking his points as well. 18 points, plays 12 here with about 4 minutes left. It's of course a 35-minute game in this under-19 rugby tournament. Kaiserlei preparing to restart. He goes to the left-hand side of the field. Wesley College number 6, that was Hasim Thabit, did really well to reach that restart, SW, but just unable to cling on to it.
Did he get a hand into it? Well, the referee said yes, he's giving a scrum. Or you would have given an option also with the scrum or line out. I'm sure St. Joseph would have opted for the scrum.
Bit of a shaky line out for St. Joseph's in the previous couple of line outs. They also can't push in this scrum for more than 2.5 meters.
1.5.
Beg your pardon, yes, 1.5. The quick tap taken off that penalty. Was that the right option by Hamish Gamage? Well, he will be kicking himself if it's not. But St. Joseph's College turn over the ball and secure things. Here is Tarusha making some headway. Bhishma playing in at halfback, gets the ball away to his skipper. Now Gamage, quick hands as Nathan Gunaratne takes it and goes into contact. Janit Marasinghe double teamed and brought to the floor. The Wesley defender though, he has to roll away a bit more faster from there because he's killing all the momentum that the Josephians have. But Gomes puts the ball high. The box kick collected by Abdul Hadi. He puts in a good kick and chases it. But here goes Gomes again. Picks out
Romero, the winger who chased that ball, I think he pulled a hamstring, that he stopped there, and referee is awarding a scrum, may have been a knock on.
Well, SW, well, he will be extremely lucky if it's just a hamstring and not an ACL injury or something of that sort, because if it's an ACL, it'll mean that's the end of his season. But if it's a hamstring or something, well, he will have a bit of time to recover and come back, well, at least for the league competition. Devan Kitnuka, a vital cog in this St. Joseph's College backline, built well and has some good speed on him as well. Straight away a change coming in the number 25 jumper, it's Clive Hingert, but that will be quite a massive loss for this Josephian team. Gamage drops it short to Gomes and through the hands they go. Here's Clive Hingert getting his first touch, but he finds himself isolated and a turnover won there by Mohammad Fawaz. A good turnover won there by Mohammad Fawaz, getting in over the ball and in a strong position. There was no way that any St. Joseph's College defender attacker was clearing him out from the SW.
Yeah, because they're slow to react onto that. I think they're a bit of watching there. Not only St. Joseph, even the Wesley, sometimes Wesley players tend to watch it there. That's why the turnovers come in and holy-ons are coming on. And I think need to, once again, having said that, it's a fresh game. It's the first game of the season. Each other testing their weaknesses and the strengths. And so far they've done very well. Both teams have done very well. St. Joseph 18 points to 12 in front, and we are almost, clock says 35. I don't know what the referee's watch will say. That's what matters.
Indeed, the referee's watch is everything that matters. A line out secured by the Wesley College jumper. That was Hemachandra in the number 7 jersey. The maul has been set up and making some good headway as the St. Joseph's College player brings that maul down illegally. Now to the line they go. Here goes the Wesley College centre. Gets the ball away, somehow manages to do so. Kaiser Lai step in and scrappy ball. Through the legs it goes from that Wesley College player. Still Wesley with possession. Rahul, that is the hooker, takes it and goes into contact. Here goes the big second row. Pawan making some good headway, beating a couple of defenders. Now to the blind side they go. Wesley with numbers on the outside, and has he dotted down just a couple of meters short. The winger as well finds himself just short. A good counter-attack coming in there. Well, the winger was playing that ball on the floor as well. However, the double blues secure possession. Still trying to find their way towards that whitewash. This time they do. Wesley College with their third Amana Bank try, and on the stroke of half time they strike through their big prop forward in the number 1 jumper, Ashane Emmanuel, as we see the replay SW.
Yeah, absolutely. They were determined to make that. Look at the drive. Oh, little bit of hands coming in there, and well spotted, Romario. I think you should be referring that. But nevertheless, Wesley has gone over the line, got the 5 points on, and of course, just much before these movements, there was a bit of a Fiji style, 7 style passing by the Wesley 3/4. But so they got 5 points on the board, and they're 1 point behind with the conversion to come. If this goes right, they'll enjoy the lemons with a point ahead of them.
Unfortunately though, just to the right of the upright goes that kick from Abdul Hadi, and an end thrilling 35 minutes of rugby comes to an end with just 1 point separating the two teams, SW.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw Terence Henry, after a very successful season with Kandy Sports Club, of course remaining unbeaten and winning both trophies, and under the guidance of Terence Henry, the forwards, Kandy forwards have done a tremendous job. And I'm sure Wesley will also have the privilege of having that expertise on the team. As we see half-time in St. Joseph 18 and Wesley 17, just a point separating them. And we are in for a huge battle in the second half.
We will go in for a quick commercial break and be back with more action on the other side.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Now Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection samagin pirimin sadahamai.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get. Spray. Go.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මනම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නෑ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
Swisstek AquaShield 2K waterproofer seal karanna hondama kena.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Now Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection samagin pirimin sadahamai.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සරවිහිතේ හික්කසිත බැන්දා ෆයිවල් ෆැෂන් අපේ හික්ටක බද්දේ වටේ හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
There is a rhythm to island life, where a walk is a dance, where there is work-life flexibility, where fun is serious, and where songs rise out of the sea. The unique and amazing facets of island living inspire us.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined. Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Now Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection samagin pirimin sadahamai.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තියේ කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චෞමරි අක්කා.
පිත්තියට ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තියේ කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චෞමරි අක්කා.
පිත්තියට ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තු මිසර විහිදේ කික්කක සිට බැඳා මාතේ ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් බබේ
හිටක බදේ වටේ
hot and spicy guess මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙන ඉඳි තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. චෞමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි. නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Welcome back to this second half action. Well, before we get into the action, we have a few highlights from the first half. An action-packed first half. Just a single point separating the two teams. The first Amana Bank try came courtesy of Bhishma for St. Joseph's College as he scored on the far touchline, but then Wesley replied in kind through Rodrigo. Hamish Gamage tried to make good headway, but it was Bhishma who dotted down for the Josephians' second Amana Bank try. And well, on the stroke of half-time, just before that rather, Kavisha scored for Wesley. Malshan Devmin added a penalty, but well, just on the stroke of half-time, here you go, you see the big man Ashane Emmanuel rather, scoring the try for Wesley College as he cut the deficit to just 1 point. Abdul Hadi had the opportunity of taking the Double Blues into the lead at half-time, but unfortunately he was wavered with his kick off the tee, and that meant Wesley and St. Joseph's were separated by a solitary point. The fans enjoying their half-time come in the way of St. Joseph's. The Wesley College fans, that is. Well, SW and enthralling first half of rugby here at the Royal Complex. A single point separating the two teams. Who do you think will be the most satisfied team from the first half, the first 35 minutes?
That's a good question. I'm sure both teams will be satisfied with the thing is, I think Joes will be disappointed, dissatisfied because of the fact that they had a healthy lead. Now it has cut down to 1 point. That's rugby. But nevertheless, the kids have done so well, produced some good rugby, scored where it mattered, and then they have settled down. Hopefully, second half, of course, we'll have a winner because it's a knockout tournament, and we'll hopefully not go down to the wire with extra time and all that. But nevertheless, the game has been good so far. I enjoyed it. I'm sure everyone would have enjoyed it. And it's a matter of hopefully the second half, the fresh legs will come into play, and the fresh decisions that we make will also come into play, and not to make some errors in being under pressure. So those things will matter. It's all depends on what call that you make. So far it has been fantastic rugby.
Certainly some good rugby on show. There were patches where both teams looked a bit rusty and a bit rough on the edges, but first game of the season, first competitive game of the season for both teams, so that's expected. But we are back, and it's Wesley through Kaiselai kicking off this second half, putting it short this time, and yet again the kick left behind as the Wesley College players are on the attack through their second row, their big second row, that is Safras rather. But St. Joseph's secured the turnover there. However, just the players, the referee goes back for the penalty, the knock-on advantage from the restart. So a bit of a thorn in the flesh for St. Joseph's are their high balls, SW.
They're disappointing. They have been very, very weak on the high balls, and especially when you are facing the kickoff where you want to take that ball up. You can see the replay. I still don't want to get into that argument about the player chasing that ball down. To me, I think he's a few meters in front of the kicker.
To the line they go, Wesley, off that scrum. Left behind, booted through. That was by St. Joseph's College, Jayasurya. However, the ball just beats everyone into touch. On that occasion, we can see the Wesley College players just standing and swinging the long passes rather than just making a bit of meters ahead, running forward and drawing players and committing that players and throwing that pass. That has been an error, that has a mistake rather, that has been quite visible throughout the past seasons as well. Line out secured. Maul has been defended successfully by St. Joseph's. Now to the line. Lai gives it out. Massive break there coming in by the centre. Step in, but he's brought and caught by Brian Fernando. Now a maul is set up. There's no way that that ball was coming out, but it has been lost forward. Well, the ball was lost forward. We are quite certain that it was lost forward
Where?
in the opposite direction. Well, look at this replay here. Wesley's centre was caught, and then the ball emerged out on the side of St. Joseph's SW. Horrendous call, you could say that was.
Question is where? Where was the ball lost forward? You got to be absolutely sure, positive, if you give in a knock-on or a forward pass. You got to make sure that it's absolutely 100%.
Well, we'll leave it that there, as here goes the big number 12, Dhanush Dasanayak, making some good meters. Wesley through their forwards now, packing a punch. To the line they go on that short side. Kaiser Lai step in, making a couple of meters. St. Joseph's committing players to the breakdown, however illegally. This is a crucial passage of play, SW, because they always say the minutes leading into half time and the minutes after half time is when teams are vulnerable. And well, the youngsters, they have quite a bit of learning to do. Throwing into the line out. Wesley secured by Hemachandra. Now the maul coming in, turning inside, inwards rather. However, making meters, meter by meter. Now breaks, does Rahul. He's brought down by the St. Joseph's College defenders. Kaisilai, to the line they go, through the hands. Here goes the centre, step in, trying to beat his man, but he's brought down by Malshan Devmin. Now to the line they go. Have they scored in the far corner? Time has been called off by the referee, and he's going to have a chat with his AR, Nalin Lasanta. And referee Ravi. Rodrigo in the number 11 jumper. It'll be great if we can have a there was a bit of interference on that touch line. Here's that replay SW. The centre actually did really well and got the offload away as well. Great piece of play there by Kavisha Dilhar, that was SW, who did really well and dotted down.
Try, clear try. That's a good, well spotted by the AR and the referee. It was a clear try.
Yet another conversion goes astray there for this Wesley College team. Just unable to get their kicks going off the tee. But now that score has seemed to just taken the wind out of the sails of this St. Joseph's College team. They just walked back to the centre line. Now it will be interesting to see how they respond. Nathan gives it out short to Gomez. Brian surveying his options, puts in a little short kick. Not the best of options. Collected well by the Wesley defenders. Recycled for the Double Blues. Off the base, into the centre. Collected by the Josephians. Here goes the skipper, Janit Marasinghe. Loops the ball. Clive Hingert steps on the accelerator, beats one. Down the line goes Clive Hingert. Will he go all the way? No, he doesn't. Somehow manages to recycle. But well, was that player infringing there? Yes, indeed he was. There's no way he's getting that ball out of that ruck. And was that a yellow card worthy cynical foul, SW?
Yep, that was a very cynical foul. But prior to that, that's a try. Oh, we're going to have a feast of tries coming in here between St. Joseph and Wesley. That's Leroy Fernando taking notes down. I'm sure he'll have one or two, because when you asked that question, I saw his pen. He was penning something down.
Indeed, as Janit Marasinghe scores an Amana Bank try for St. Joseph's College, and they hit back, taking the lead back by just a single point in this game. Yet again, the lead changes hands. Malshan Devmin, he has had a much better day off the tee compared to Abdul Hadi. Janit Marasinghe was the try scorer. The Amana Bank try scorer for St. Joseph's College. Malshan Devmin, commentator's curse, strikes him and he puts it away to the right hand side. The scores remain at 23 points as Wesley are 22 points and trailing by a single point. There you can see that replay there. Janit Marasinghe, he has some massive genes running in his family, and there was pretty much no stopping him from such a close angle.
I wonder whether any more Marasinghes to walking onto the pitch with wearing Josephine colours. I'm sure that will serve good for the country.
Unfortunately not, as Kaiselai puts in a high restart. Shaky but collected by Lienege. Here goes St. Joseph's College to their forwards. Gets taken out a bit late. Through the hands they go. Loopy pass, steps in well, does that winger for St. Joseph's College. Recycled well. Now Bhishma. Quick pick and go. This is, however, not an area that they would be wanting to be playing, as the referee says that has been a knock, and we come back from one end to the other of the field. Bhishma Jayasekara, the vice captain SW for St. Joseph's College this season, cramping up a bit. Time has been switched off as a couple of Wesley College players too just getting a bit of magic spray that makes all the difference.
Yeah, that's right. Magic spray, the magic ice, and the magical touch.
The crowds have filled in and they're enjoying some good knockout rugby. The scrum Cannot be shoved more than 1.5 meters, but the ball was fed right under the second row's foot. Nathan puts in a kick collected by Wadud. Here goes Abdul Hadi, taken out late, clearly late there on that occasion.
I wonder, was it late or was it dangerous, or both? Late and dangerous. So we might see the green and blue combination making it to a yellow.
Not two good sights if you are a Wesley supporter, seeing that man on the floor.
Absolutely late.
Crucial player for Wesley College, Abdul Hadi that is. And that's the first yellow card of this knockout competition. Bit of a brain fade there for the St. Joseph's College player. By the looks of it, that was Taruj Jayasuriya, was it? And straight away, Kaisalai pointing to the uprights. Wesley College, Kaisalai calling for the tee. St. Joseph's down a man, and in a few more moments will be trailing on the scoreboard as well. Kaisalai. With all expectations on his shoulders, punts it through, and well, in fact, he does not add the kick off the tee, and it goes astray. That's quite a bit of a miss there for Kaisalai. But the 22-meter restart. Put in short there. However, St. Joseph's retained possession. Scrappy play there. And now they seem to be just loose in their heads, are the Josephians. Trailing by a single point is Wesley. But all the errors are being made by the St. Joseph's players in the last few minutes. Forward passers leaving behind kicks, high balls rather. Now Wadud through the hands, distributing, and well, trying to play distributor was Mohammad Fawaz, but Wesley just go off their feet at that breakdown and concede a try, consider a penalty rather, beg your pardon. About 25 minutes left. Brian Fernando. Finds touch, and now the Josephians will just need to calm their nerves down and hold on to position, because they have not managed to get their hands on the ball in for the last few minutes. SW.
Joes need to get the ball in hand because they are one shot. They got to play. We got to make time. They got to start making time so that they will have that 15 on the pitch. So here's a line out. You need to win it. Keep it with the forwards. Free cycle it. But Wesley has other ideas.
Indeed, the Wesley College have had other ideas and they have picked the pocket of the Josephians. Now through the hands with a number on the outside. Abdul Hadi trying to draw and pass. Gets a lovely offload away. The winger step in, beat in a couple of players, and he will go over for a graceful Amanabad try. That's Kavish Dilhara. What a try and what a run there by the young winger. Set up by Abdul Hadi and a sublime piece of work there by the winger SW.
Absolutely fantastic combination. That flick pass came in at the correct time. But Dilhara, Kavisha had to do a lot of work. He had to sidestep. You can see the replay. The hands going. Of course, St. Joseph are playing one shot on the three-quarter line. They should have had dropped a forward there. Look at this flick. All important. That goes that way. In there. Three missed tackles. I mean, if you miss those tackles, if three people miss a tackle, you're bound to get, the points on the board against you.
Indeed, you're bound to concede, and Wesley College have added the extras as well off the boot of Abdul Hadi, and now it's 29 points that play 23. Straight away, the pressure back on St. Joseph's.
Now firmly in the lead, 29 points.
Leading by 6 points. Still a one-score game though. However, SW.
Yeah, one score, that's right. So St. Joseph's need to keep it calm. They need possession because they need the 15th player on the field. Otherwise, I'm sure Wesley will let them pay for it. The ball bounces correctly, goes into touch, but Wesley will throw the ball in. St. Joseph should walk to the line out, delay as much as possible to get equal numbers on the field. And at that point, Wesley knew that they were short, and that's why they ran the three quarters. A beautiful flip, that back pass of his actually made that try.
Line out secured by the double blues. The line out maul set up and going meter by meter. St. Joseph's recycles. The referee calls once. Kai's Lai spots that the winger isn't there and puts in a good kick, but Gomes does extremely well to clean things up. But he's brought down to the floor. However, support arrives just in time for St. Joseph's College, but they concede the penalty for holding on. Well, up here in the commentary box, I thought support arrived just in time. However, the players, the defenders rather, for Wesley, they had other ideas and they somehow managed to jackal and win that holding on penalty.
Yeah, that's right. And there was a quick tap taken on the wrong spot, and the referee quite rightly called play back. And now we are in with 29 points to 23, 14 playing 15. St. Joseph minus a player. Cramps are coming into the fixture of Gallo, but the weather condition is not that hot and humid. It's quite cooling and nice. I'm sure the condition down there must be pretty better than what it looked like.
The players just cramping up as action heats up. The Wesley College Mall goes, but it was brought down legally, says the referee. However, Josephian player, we saw him just dive in through there. However, here goes the Wesley College centre. Mohammad Fawaz, that was. Now, Rahul, the hooker, the big mobile hooker for the double blues, taking it up and going into contact. Good hands there. By the looks of it, it was a moment away from getting picked off. However, Wesley strike back twice in a row, and yet another Amana Bank try on the far touchline. And well, does that kill off this St. Joseph's College team? Naham Hemachandra was the Amana Bank try scorer.
Well, it's 2 scores now because you can see the replay on that. He nearly missed that interception. The forwards running there like 3/4, absolutely fantastic. Drive over the line. Clear try it was.
Indeed, a clear try it was. That was Hemachandra, the try scorer. Abdul Hadi lining up the conversion. Conversion which will extend the Double Blues lead. By the looks of it, it's good and it's lovely conversion. The fans erupt. Wesley College go in and extend their lead further. 36 points to 23 reads the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. Their tails are up now, right up at the moment, and the conversion, these 2 extra points, you know, they add to their boost to boost their levels higher. Fantastic display of Wesley making use of that extra on the outside, but their forwards handle the ball so well to make that try.
Indeed, great hands by the forwards, similar to the backs. And by the looks of it, St. Joseph's are back to their full complement of 15 players. And now, straight away off that restart, an error coming in for the Josephians. Well, the errors just keep compounding for St. Joseph's.
Pressure. This is what happens when you have this. It's all about the scoreboard pressure at the moment for St. Joseph. They got to keep their cool down because there's time for them to get one more score, and then you're in the business.
Indeed, one more score here for St. Joseph's will means that they set the cat amongst the pigeons, and then from there on they'll have to take it on. However, first things first, defending this centre field scrum. Gamage gives it, but just running into his own man did skipper Gamage. As the changes are coming in, Dion Fernando coming in for St. Joseph's. Who does he replace is the question. By the looks of it, it's the number 15, and it's Brian Fernando making his way out. Gladys Dion feature in this St. Joseph's College backline. Gomez feeds in the scrum. Bit of a shove coming in, but here goes Bhishma. Nathan gets it off Bhishma, beats a couple of players, but just isolated there was Nathan Gunaratna as he concedes penalty, holding on. Time seems to be switched off, and there seems to be a bit of a player in a bit of strife there. Yeah, you can see there the number 13 or number 10. That was for Wesley College, for Wesley rather. Just got his head on the wrong side. Thankfully though, he is back seated on the field. In fact, it's number 13, Mohammad Fawaz.
Double Blues have certainly stepped up the game in the last quarter. The forwards are equally moving that ball. As we see, the Double Blues are making their substitutions.
Changes coming in for Wesley, who are in the lead. In with a 13-point advantage at this moment, as we are reaching the hour mark in this game. Thabit is a player being replaced. A good touch finder there by the Double Blues.
Very interesting, another game where Dharmaraja playing DS. And the scores that I got right now, it's DS leading 31 points, 29. Very close.
Indeed. Well, the school's rugby promised so much, and it is delivering. Here's a lovely front peel, but well read by the Josephian defenders, and they bundle Pawan Tirangama out on the touchline. Seems to be worse for wear, but looks of it just cramp there. Not too happy St. Joseph's College fans.
They started off well. They couldn't keep up. The last 15 minutes, Wesley just went in on a rampage.
There you go again. Another line out. Lost by Inosh Silva. By the looks of it, the Wesley players have been bundled back again, out in touch. Mindulka throwing in to a shortened line out. Inosh this time around makes no mistake. To the line they go. Amish Kamage stopped in his tracks. Gomes to the new man, Dion, that was. Hands, well, not rolling away in time. Now there needs to be a bit of leadership for St. Joseph's College. There you can see Janit Marasinghe. Malshan Devmin preparing to find touch. Makes no mistake. Great touch finder there.
St. Joseph needs to score quick. On our clock, there's about 8 minutes. 8 minutes is a long time. It's a playing time. You can score 3 times.
Indeed. However, they need to score, and they need to score fast. Do St. Joseph's. Another line out. Scrappy. However, secured by the Josephians. Gomes, to the line they go. Wrap around, no. Dion Gamage has other ideas. Ball taken in. Ruck form, says the referee. Scrappy bit of play there by both teams. But the Josephians winning the penalty. Referee signaling quite a long offside there. Malshan Devmin in the number 13 jumper. Finds touch. Anxious supporters looking on. Double Blue fans know that the game is theirs to be lost. Mindulka Pereira preparing to throw into a shortened line out. Not really. One at the tail. That was by Senuja Giran. St. Joseph's College in dire need of points. Horrible pass coming in, but it goes backwards. St. Joseph's College isolated, but just manages to find support. Here goes Clive Hingert, trying to squeeze way. Gomez gives it out to Hamish Gamage. Players now just fall in like 9 pins. Here goes St. Joseph's College through Malshan Devmin, trying to step his way through, unable to do so. Inosh Silva still just inside the opponent's half are the Josephians. Hamish Gamage wrapping around was Nathan. Step in on the accelerator. Nathan Gunaratna. Can he get the offload away? Unfortunately, he does not. He's unable to do so. And the ball has been knocked forward. Well, quite a few players going down with cramps as the Josephian faithful looks on. Not too happy faces. You see the replay W.
Yeah, good bit of work by the. If you see him struggling to make that run, look at that. He should have kept that ball with him without trying to pass that ball and move it forward. But nevertheless, I'm very concerned about the boys having cramps so early in the season, and it's not a very hot day either. So with 6 minutes and 35 on our clock, St. Joseph trailing 23 points to 36. I'm sure at this point of time, Wesley clearly has a big W in front of their name.
Danush Dasanayaka gets the applause as he leaves the field. Abdul Hadi still on the floor, receiving treatment. The big question is, why aren't they taking him out?
Too important a player, but nevertheless you can't have, if you're limping on the field, because he needs a spoon of salt into the system.
There goes Wadud. Scrum turns.
Here it's a wheel. There is no the other side getting the scrum put in off a wheel.
Yes, there was a rule where if the scrum wheeled, the opponents get the feed in, but that was scrapped quite a few years ago. There goes Sandul Gamage, the skipper for Wesley. It's also time for us, SW, here in the commentary box, to pick the Swiss Tech player of the match. There have been quite a few.
Yeah, quite a good performance coming in with St. Joseph having that center running through all that, and good performance coming in. But we need to see the workload. Who does the absolute workload to call it a man of the match?
Well, quite a bit of debate up here in the commentary box. There were quite a few Wesley College players who put their hand up. Time has been switched back off by the looks of it.
To select the man of the match is very difficult in a game of rugby where 15 contribute. It's not like a game of cricket where you have a centurion or a double centurion or a 5-wicket taker.
Indeed, SW. St. Joseph's College securing the line out, but a massive tackle coming in. The Wesley defense has been something that has raised their hands, put their hands up in when they really needed it to do so. St. Joseph's College still trying. They have gone back into their own half. However, here goes Janit Marasinghe, trying to wriggle his way forward, able to do so. Now Bhishma to the line. Isolated was Dion Fernando as he stepped back in. Malshan Devmin trying to bump his way forward. Hamish Gamage, through the hands they go. Nathan Gunaratne really managed to get the offload away. He does, but the Wesley defense has put their hand up yet again and driven the Josephian attackers into touch. So there have been quite a few Wesley players who have lit up the field. Abdul Hadi from fullback, Rahul from hooker as well, who was pretty much everywhere. However, Kavish Dilhara wins the Swiss Tech Player of the Match for his contribution with 3 tries as well. Found himself in the right place at the right time, going over for 3 valuable tries for Wesley as they managed to get the better out of this St. Joseph's College outfit. We're now pretty much in the final few passages of play. Massive tackle coming in there. Malshan Devmin that was, but just their hands letting them down for St. Joseph's. Well, on our clock, time has reached the end. However, it's the referee's clock that matters.
So Wesley, I think it's as good as a win in their bag now. So they move on to the quarterfinal stages.
And from now on, things only get more tough and tough. In this side of the draw, if I am not mistaken, we have Royal and Isipatana. Malshan Devmin trying his level best to get something going. Clive Hingert just unhappy with how things went on there, but that's the game with that forward pass. The game has ended. Wesley College securing a fighting victory over St. Joseph's College.
So Zoom Zoom Sake, Ujua prevails over St. Joseph's College. The referee said the game is over.
A sublime second half of rugby by Wesley College means that they prevail over St. Joseph's College 36 points to 23, securing a place in the quarterfinals. They will either play Isipatana or...
Is it the same as Dharmaraja DS match or not winners
No,
of that?
Wesley are on the opposite end of the draw, SW. And here are a few highlights from that second half. Well, this was one great try from that Swiss Tech player of the match, where he dotted down, beating the final defender of St. Joseph's College. St. Joseph scored through their skipper. However, this was yet another sublime try, and we are quite early on the season, but that could be a contender for try of the season. Abdul Hadi added the extras, and from then on it was pretty much a Wesley show, where they ran through this St. Joseph's College defense, which meant the Josephians had no answers to how to stop them. Good to see the players just greeting each other off screen as we see the key stats. Wesley College 36 points, St. Joseph's 23 points, 6 tries and 3 conversions for Wesley, while St. Joseph's managed just 3 tries, 1 conversion and 2 penalties. Kavisha Dilhara, for his sublime effort on the wing, wins the Swiss Tech Player of the Match award. As well, all in all, I think Wesley will be quite pleased with the second half of action that they saw. And for the Josephians, well, it means that they go back to the drawing boards SW.
Yeah, absolutely. So now they know where their strength lies, or where they can improve on their strength and, of course, cut down on the weaknesses. But having said that, Wesley was always in the scoring distance. The scores where St. Joseph dominated a couple of times and they got in front. But Wesley got their play together, act together, and they came in strongly. In the last quarter, they really managed to trouble the scorers.
Indeed, and here's what we have lined up through the next couple of days. Well, on Saturday we have 6 games, and on Sunday we have 2 games. Trinity host, Trinity play St. Anthony's at CRNFC in a game that will kick off at 6:30, but we start proceedings here at 6 p.m. St. Peter's play Thurston, Royal play Kingswood, Science play St. Thomas's, Isipatana play Sri Sumangala, if I've got it right. Zahira College play Vidyartha, and the 2 games above that, it's St. Aloysius versus Richmond in the Premier Trophy, and from this same venue it's the other Premier Trophy second pre-quarter final. Those 2 games kick off at 1:30. Well, in fact they kick off at 2, but we start the live at 1:30, and the rest of the games kick off respectively at 4:15, 4 and 6:30 p.m.
So 2 county schools playing in Colombo and the 2 golf schools playing in Colombo.
Indeed, the knockouts hosted by the Schools Association, so they try to play the games at neutral venues. And as we have all this action lined up, we would like to bring an end to this telecast here from Royal Complex. Wesley College prevail over St. Joseph's College 36 points to 23. And that's it from us here at the Royal Complex. With myself, Romario De Silva and SW Chang in the commentary box, along with our technical and production crew. It's thank you and goodbye until we see you next time.
Stand by for opener.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
3, 2, 1, roll over.
ඉතින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංකික ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare සමග.
Welcome back to ThePapare.
Welcome to the live broadcast from ThePapare.
Good luck, guys. Good luck, everyone.
ThePapare, Sri Lanka's #1 television sports channel.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චමරි අක්කා. බිත්තියට ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex, get, spray, go.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
වතුරත් ලික් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මනම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. හැමසිතක්ම පිපිදේ, රස lemon රසයේ. ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි. Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. Maliban lemon puff, chill when lemon.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. සමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා. නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. සමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Our mountains are majestic. They can be life-giving. Some are even sacred, and their heights bear marks of our heritage. Our mountains elevate us. To us, they are ever inspiring.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. හැමසිතක්ම පිපිදේ, රස lemon රසයේ. ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි. Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. Maliban lemon puff, chill when lemon.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සර විහිදේ හික්කට සිත බැන්දා මාතේ ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් බබේ
හික්ටක බදේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. හැමසිතක්ම පිපිදේ, රස lemon රසයේ. ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි. Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. Maliban lemon puff, chill when lemon.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සර විහිදේ හික්කට සිත බැන්දා මාතේ ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් බබේ
හික්ටක බදේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.